Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So I am married to my husband, who is a Nigerian national, but when he came here in South Africa, this was a very long time ago. So he came here as if he wanted to see the World Cup that was happening in our country in the year 2010. And when he came back, he never returned back to his own country. So when he came here, he started staying in our community at that time. So I was still going to school because I wanted to become a nurse at that time. So after I had graduated, that was when I was staying at home full time because I was on an attachment at the local clinic, which was serving the location where I grew up in, as well the surrounding communities. That is how I ended up meeting with this guy. So when he came here, he told me that he did not even have any plan at all. Like, his intentions were like he wanted to go to Europe, to Italy. He said that he had been told that on this other farm in Italy, they were looking for some guys that can work on those tomato farms. But when he had traveled, leaving his country in Nigeria, and when halfway, when they were, he said, in Morocco, that was when they were abused by some Arabian guys, and then he chose to return back to his country because they were kept as prisoners for a very long time, being denied access to food and water, and he just wished to return back to his country. So when he returned back to his country, an opportunity came when they organized like a team of fans that were going to come so that they can watch the World Cup that was happening in our country at that time. That is how he ended up coming to South Africa. So when he saw that he had came to South Africa, he thought of running away from the hotel where they were staying. So he ran away from that hotel where they were staying without even knowing where he was supposed to go to. And he then ended up being in the location where I grew up in after he had met with some of the brothers who are from his country. So these brothers who are from his country, what they were doing was that they were running this other tavern, but they were forced to shut it down because the man who was married to this other woman, who when she was still alive at that time, she was staying also in our location. So she was the one who was helping him to run that tavern. We did not even know that at that tavern, that was where they were making the drugs that they were selling to the community. So we didn't even know that this is what was happening. But she then died, but she died after they had been forced to shut down that tavern that they were running. So my future husband was working also at that tavern. So at that tavern, there used to be a lot of fights. Like each and every Friday, we would know that we would be working overtime. If you were going to be on duty on that night, you know that you're going to be working overtime because people will be stabbing each other. A lot of stealing and a lot of violence will be happening at that tavern. So one day, this guy, he was then stabbed and he was rushed to our clinic. And when he came, I was the one who assisted him. And then this man, when I looked at him, I don't know, I felt a burning fire inside my stomach and in my heart, and I knew that this was love. And he also said the same. When we looked at each other, it was nothing but true love that we felt for each other. And this man, even though he was in pain, he begged for my phone numbers, and I could not resist him, for he was handsome, the type of a man that I wanted. Yes, there are people who can say that they do not understand me because I grew up in a Christian family, but I always had that desire to get married to a thug, to get married to a gangster, like close to the location where I grew grew up in, there was this other part of the location where the colors were staying. I used to date a lot of those colors that were into your gangsterism, but my parents never got to find out that this is what I was doing. I just had that desire to get married to a gangster husband, one who was going to maybe beat me up before he can sleep with me. And I don't know what kind of a spirit was making me to feel that way. And at that time, to tell you the truth, I was actually dating my boyfriend who was still in university, a very soft guy. And when I would look at him, I would see that I was just wasting my time because he was too soft. I didn't want a man that was soft. I wanted a man that was harsh with me, that would always be angry at me. And I had found that guy in this Nigerian guy, because when I looked at him, I just felt so much in love with the tone of his voice, the way that he was talking to me, even though he was not being harsh, but he has this natural harsh voice and very loud. And whenever you would speak with me, I would feel as if you would be setting my body on fire. After I had given him my phone numbers, when he recovered, the first thing that we did is that we went out on a date, and when we returned, we slept together. So that is how I started dating this guy, and I used to assist him a lot. Since I am a South African and a woman as well, he would send me to go and fetch like his drugs, even in places where they will be having like your operations, trying to arrest the foreigners, and I would just pass through without ever being suspected. And I was assisting him quite a lot until he got arrested. When he got arrested, I was pregnant for him. He got arrested and he went to prison. By the time that he returned back from prison, my baby was already able to talk and to walk. We then continued from where we had left, me and my boyfriend, and we moved in together. And he told me that he wanted to change his life. He wanted to turn his life around, but he wanted me to assist him. So when he said that, I want you to assist me, I did not understand exactly what he meant when he said that, I want you to assist me. So he had to speak with his relatives back home in Nigeria, and I used to speak with them a lot. So they were the ones that were telling him that they would go to their traditional healers, and he will be told the things that he was supposed to buy here in South Africa. Then he would buy those items. It was only after he had done most of the charms that was needed to be, it was after he had bought most of the charms that were needed to be bought, that was where he told me that now it was my turn to assist him. And he told me that my womb was needed so that we can complete this ritual. I don't know what exactly was happening to me at that time, because I agreed. I found myself agreeing with everything that he was asking me to do. So what he did is that he gave me this other small branch of a tree that he told me that I was supposed to go and bath. Whilst I will be bathing, I had to try as much as I could to rub that tree branch on my private parts, and I rubbed it and I just left it in the bathroom. Later on, when I was fast asleep, that was when I saw that this tree branch, it had followed us into the bedroom. This was like late at night. Then it transformed and it became a snake. I woke him up and he told me that this was normal. It was supposed to happen. And he told me that for a week I was supposed to sleep with this snake. Yes, this snake, it was as thick as a man's manhood, and it would actually climb on top of the bed, and this man, he would strip me and I would sleep with that snake as if I was sleeping with a man, and I would even feel really good. So after the 7 days, I felt empty, like really empty. And I just thought of going for a scan. When I went for a scan, to my surprise, I was told that I did not have a womb anymore. That is how I sacrificed my womb just to please my husband. So my husband, he started his tire business, and because the money kept on coming to us, like you would just wake up and you would see that the money was there. My husband, I then told him that we should start our own car dealership. So he started to buy your second-hand cars, but not like these cheap second-hand cars. I mean, like the cars that most of the people will think that they are still brand new and that cost a lot of money. That those are the cars that we sell, and I am the one who assists him quite a lot at the dealership. So all along, I never knew that the rituals that he did, they were going to demand that I should lose my baby. So when my son fell so ill, that was when my husband told me that we needed to sit down so that we can talk. We had a conversation, me and him, and he told me that I was going to lose my son. Oh, the thing that I did, Brother Nashi, it was quite evil. Because when I looked at my son, I just thought of not sacrificing my son because I love his father a lot. But when I looked at my other two daughters, I then said, amongst them, let me at least choose one, because as for the father, he is irresponsible anyway. So the way that I sacrificed my daughter is by flipping a coin. Yes, that is what I did. I flipped a coin, and I had said on the other side of the coin, if it falls on the other side of the coin, this means that I am going to sacrifice baby A, and if the coin is going to flip on this side, then it is going to be baby B. That is what I did, Brother Nashi, and I do not feel quite good about the things that I did. I have sacrificed so much just to make my husband to be happy. I don't know if it is a demon that possessed me that made me to do all of these things, or if it was just love, pure love that I have for him. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me from our admin. That was the translation of that message that was sent to me. Strange things indeed do happen in this world. Yo.